This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised. Previously on Back to the Story.
There's a rushing force and a twisting of your stomach so that you're starting to get used to it. That's still new each time before you suddenly come to rest and it's pitch black. Consider this an olive branch. Contact me and we'll go from there. Signed, Braun.
Assuming everyone's ready, one turn before he does, he will cast Blade Ward on himself, and then he, with his maul, will smash the window.
When I see him cast Blade Ward, I cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay. Everyone go ahead and roll initiative. I think that's all the prep we need. And everyone's back, as far as I can tell. So we'll go ahead and jump back in. So you guys setting yourselves up, preparing with casting spells. Is anyone holding anything right now as far as offensively? I can't remember. I know y'all were doing some defense stuff. Okay. And the vat itself, like I said, is like 4.5 feet tall, about 10 feet wide, copper circular vat, like a disc almost, with rounded corners and one about 2 feet wide in diameter window of thick, kind of dark greenish blue glass, which Ball is beginning to smash. He rears back, and as the big iron dented up maul massive slams into the glass, it immediately cracks across and a few chunks shatter, pushed out by the water that then drips out of the copper vat. The water isn't just pure water, it's this dark, thick-ish substance, almost like mucus-like, that drips out onto the floor. As soon as the glass breaks, you suddenly hear a zzz, a strange humming in your mind. Ellery, you are the one that notices the glass breaking as Ball's pulling it away, his maul away. What do you do?
Sorry, could you clarify what is it that I'm noticing?
So you basically are in initiative first. So I'm saying, I just narrating at as you notice the glass is going to break. As Ball pulls them all away, the glass breaks and the sludgy mucus pours out. And you can see a dark mass shifting inside.
I think I'm waiting to see if it makes any hostile movements before I actually do anything.
Okay. So you're just holding your action. Are you holding any spell in particular or just waiting?
Can I hold a spell while I have a concentration spell? Or does that take...
Technically, no.
Okay, then I guess I'm just waiting.
Okay. That will bring us up to Felix. As you see the mass kind of shifting in and hear the buzzing hit, similar to what you heard when you shifted your mind into.
Yeah, Felix has been in that mind already, so bonus action, Aeon's gonna just slip right into the tank, and then I'm gonna information overload it.
Okay.
So he has to make an intelligence saving throw.
Good boy. 26.
Oh, yeah, he makes it. So that's my turn.
Okay. So Aeon shifts in, seeing this writhing mass. You project Aeon projects these memories and thoughts, and it hits into a wall, a reflection of sorts that just overwhelms those from Aeon. And that brings up to Amson. And you all, by the way, hear the humming in your mind.
So you remember those vials of poison that I got out of that trap?
Yes.
I'm going to take one of those vials and poison the dagger that I got.
Okay. So you're going to take those poison vials, break it open, and then pour it upon your dagger?
Yeah. And then I think I'll just stay where I am and just wait, holding my dagger coated in poison.
Okay.
So that's my turn.
Okay. At the end of your turn, that will bring us up to it. As you all are hearing this humming, this zoom, it starts to clarify into thoughts. images and words and senses and emotions and smells strangely slam into your mind one after the other. You instantly feel a painful migraine. I need all of you to make intelligence saving throws.
It's a natural 20 for me.
That's a 16 for Vesper. Please be enough.
16 for Felix.
12.
Unfortunately, a natural 20 for Ball.
Okay, I was just checking for half damage. So Vesper, Felix, and Amson, you all take 36 points of psychic damage and are stunned. As the rest of you kind of grit your teeth against it. And that will bring us up to Ball.
Let's try something wild. So, is there anything visibly sticking out of it, or is it just humming coming from inside of this thing, inside the window?
There's just humming coming from inside the window.
Okay, I'm going to, as an action, cast Fire Form on myself, putting me into so I can fit in through spaces now as 1 inch without squeezing, and move through other creatures' spaces. And I'm going to enter the vat. And let me know if this is not how it's supposed, if this is not as intended, but I would like to then attack it once I'm inside it.
With what?
It'd be with my maul.
When you become fire form, you turn into a fire. So you keep the maul is no longer there. You're just fire for
okay.
very short time.
Maybe I'll do it anyway. And instead I'll go in there and I'll use my, I'll do bonus action Mantle of Flame. And as my action, I will turn into fire and go inside. So that way there's fire inside of its being. And then just basically create a path of fire all around the vat. Like kind of cook the vat and then pick one square where I can stand in safely.
Okay. So you're going to turn into fire, go inside, and then come out?
Yeah, and then just do like a little circle. So the idea being that if this thing steps out, if it can step out, it's
Gotcha. Okay. So you're going in the vat, coming out and around it, and then dropping back into your form. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So what damage does it take? Does it take it now or on its turn?
Anyone that I pass through takes 1d10 fire damage.
Then roll it.
And since I have mantle, it'll also do bonus 3 fire. So 6 fire damage.
Okay. And you hop out, becoming that ring. So Ball turns into flames, rushing into the window. There are lights that kind of protrude, and out you hear sizzling and burning before the flame erupts out of the vat, circling it once more before Ball drops back into form, with a ring of flames around the vat itself. And that will bring us up to Vesper. You are currently stunned. At the end of your turn, you can make a intelligence save.
Nope.
Okay. So you're currently just Vesper, Felix, and Amson are kind of like gripping their heads, grinding their teeth. Blood is kind of dripping from their noses as they're just kind of clenching their eyes closed, dealing with this massive influx of psychic energy. That will bring us back up to, and actually, Ellery is on deck, but never mind. Oh, just make sure. Yeah, actually. So that is not great, but that is a 20 to hit you, Felix. Or I guess that advantage would be, 20.
Yes, that will hit.
Okay. So the strange, enlarged neuron-looking something flies out of the window and wraps around Felix. A dendrite kind of wraps around his torso and begins pulling him forth. And you take some damage. And I'll roll you that. Ellery, you're up.
So I am regretting that I waited. And I am going to go ahead and cast Chaos Bolt at 5th level. And I'm going to go ahead and use my DM inspiration for the day.
Okay.
That would be a natural 20 with the inspiration.
And is this an attack roll?
Yes.
Okay. That's a 33 damage to you, Felix. As the tentacles wrap around and squeeze, crushing you with bludgeoning, and as Ellery slings the Chaos Bolt, and that does it.
So let's see. Shit, how many dice is that? So that is, if I can do math, that would help.
So 10d6 and 48.
First batch is 25. Second batch is 30. So that is total of 55 points of thunder damage. And I'm going to go ahead and channel Voltimary's Wrath into that. Actually, if I channel Voltimary's Wrath...
It's maximized.
Yeah, because it's thunder
just
damage.
The thunder.
Just the thunder. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is thunder damage. So, I shouldn't have actually rolled anything. I need to get my calculator for this.
So how many dice?
It's,
4d8 and 10d6.
Okay.
So 32 plus 60, 92.
Yeah, 92 points of thunder damage.
Okay. Well, look at you. Okay, so... Jesus Christ. So stupid.
Just threw everything I had, my biggest stuff, in my first hit.
And it's maximized because of bullshit reasons. I'm quitting this game. Alright, so you throw a bullshit bomb in there, and there's a loud concussive blast. The vat itself almost expands. You hear the creaking of the warping metal. All of you go deaf and just hear that ringing in your ears for a few seconds. The metal doesn't creep back into form. It's permanently disheveled. A few cracks open up in it as this pulsing energy that's moving down the neuron connecting it to Felix shakes a bit. The humming stops before it initiates back again. That'll bring us up to Felix.
Alright, so I just make a save again.
At the start of your turn, a pulse from the neuron rides down towards you, dealing 11 psychic damage.
Okay.
And you have to make an intelligence save at the start of your turn. I'm sorry, at the end of your turn.
Alright, I will use my my inspiration. 23.
Yeah, that'll make it.
Felix will snap to and vomit.
You snap to, and there is a neuron dendrite wrapped around your torso. You can, feel the thoughts of this creature. And you're currently grappled as well. That will bring us up to... Oops, and let's see if there's a legendary action it wants to take, actually. Yeah. It's going to go ahead and sling out another neuron tentacle towards Ellery, actually. Make sure it's long enough.
Cool. I deserve it.
It's close. Yeah. Perfect. So that is a number. Oof. Yeah, that's a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. Let me roll.
I guess.
So you take 26 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're currently restrained. As another neuron flies out of the window and wraps around you.
Cool.
And now it'll be Amson's turn.
Okay, I get an intelligence save, right?
Yeah, the end of your turn.
Oh, that's good. I'll use luck anyways, just because I think the DC is really high. That's a 17.
You hear this kind of humming and overflow of information and thoughts and this pulsing migraine. You can feel, it feels like your brain is swelling and pushing against the inside of your skull like it's about to burst, grinding your teeth, blood dripping from your nose, and it doesn't let up.
Okay, well, I guess I'm stunned for the rest of my turn still. So that's my turn.
So still stunned. Bring us back around to it. And I need everyone to make another intelligence saving throw.
Oh boy. 8.
Ball will use his inspiration.
So will Vesper.
22 for Ezekiel.
Whoa.
I'm getting scared. Felix, I'm Felix now.
It's a 19 for Vesper.
Okay.
18 for Ball.
I'm gonna use tides on this.
I didn't pre-roll my dice today. I'm just blindly guessing at which ones to use.
It's a 16 for Ellery.
Okay. Felix is good. Okay. So, I believe Amson, Vesper, and Ellery.
I rolled a 19.
I'm sorry. I was rolling. I had you on the other list. So, Amson and Ellery, I believe. You each take 29 points of psychic damage. They're currently
I'm
stunned.
unconscious.
As you guys, whoever's left not stunned, see Amson drop to the ground. With the neurons still attached to Ellery and Felix. And that will bring us up to Ball.
Did the rest of us take damage? Or are we good?
No, if you saved, you're okay. It's just those who failed.
But am I still... sorry, I'm gonna be obnoxious. Am I still stunned?
You're still
From
stunned
the last
from previous,
Okay.
yeah. You were just slammed again, and you didn't hear the second wave. You're already hit.
So I think since it ends its turn in the fire that I put in there, then it'll take damage from that.
Okay. Yeah, it's not leaving its improv plate mail.
So that'll be 6 more fire damage.
Okay.
And if it is resistant, I've got Elemental Adept, if that changes anything.
It seemed that you hear the sizzling and the burning and the crackling. It's hard to tell because it's inside, but the mucus seems to be burning. The neurons seem to be burning away, but still hanging on to Felix and Ellery.
So now that it's hanging on to Felix and Ellery, are there clear tentacles that I can see?
Yeah, there's now 2 neuron tentacles reaching out and holding Ellery and Felix, pulsing with energy. These action potentials every few seconds.
So I'm going to first of all, Felix, I'm assuming that your thing is your elemental weapon is probably no longer up.
Oh, actually, no. I have Warcaster. I've been maintaining that.
Really? Through all that damage?
Yep, I am conscious. I have not rolled below a 17, and I've been making them.
As for your message, Ball no longer has heals.
Vomit. Okay.
So Ball is going to try to attack with the elemental weapon Maul using Phoenix Blade. So I'm going to try to attack, the one of the tentacles. 25? Or 26, actually?
Yeah, that does. Even through the copper vat, you're able to smash into it.
So it's going to get a level 5 smite since we're getting picked on. So, oops, I clicked it. I don't know if I went through. So that's 11 bludgeoning plus 11 fire damage plus 1 thunder damage plus 23 radiant plus I'm going to put 3 points of my lay on hands for the I forgot what it's called.
The searing
flaming embers.
hands are, yeah. Okay.
So that's an extra 3 fire damage.
So 49 total, I think. Okay. Yeah, so as Ball swings, slamming into the window, cracking open the already somewhat split copper vat from Ellery's thunder, you smash into some of the mass that's coalesced there from the neurons coming out of it. It sears with fire, shakes and rumbles with thunder. You can see some of the strange cells of it, whatever it's made out of, the strange writhing mass, like almost pop and shatter themselves, dripping and off onto the floor, not moving. The hum again stops for a moment, before kicking in again.
Okay. With my bonus action, I will use some sorcery points to... Well, before I do, I'm going to move... I can't see the tentacles on the map, so I'm going to... If I move to the side of it, am I still in range, like in melee range of it? If I were to move here, for example?
Yeah, are you 5 foot shifting? Or?
No, that was a 10-foot move.
Okay. You do so and yet nothing attacks you.
Okay, and then with my bonus action, burning a sorcery point so that way I can bonus action cast Ember Tempest. That's the one that causes a blazing storm of embers to swirl around me. When a creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a dex save.
Is that 10 feet or radius?
15. I'll do it on myself. It should make it easier for you.
Thank you. And that's when it starts its turn, correct? Or enters for the first time?
It says when it enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
Okay. So when it starts its turn, we'll roll that damage. All right, so the embers begin to spin in a firestorm around Ball, just ahead of Felix, but burning into the neurons and flying in to this copper vat, where what's left of this gray matter is clinging on to whatever life it holds, and is slinging into both Felix and Ellery as Amson is dropped to the ground. Anything else for you, Ball?
That is all I got. So that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. Vesper, that will bring us up to you.
Boy, howdy, let's make that save. Nope.
Okay, still stunned. Kind of grabbing your head, your vision is entirely blurred. You see nothing but a smear of colors of red from the ground. You see bright light coming from where Ball was, but you can't really see anything as you're stunned. And that will bring us up to Ellery. At the start of your turn, a action potential rushes down the neuron, slamming into you with this strange electrical psychic energy, dealing 8 psychic damage at the start of your turn.
Okay, I'm still up. I think I have to make a save. Am I stunned?
I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, no, yeah, you are. So at the end of your turn, make a save.
Shouldn't have said that if you didn't remember. No. Okay, that's a 17.
Again, the hum just seems to drone on and on with this pulsing. It seems to get stronger with the neuron wrapped around your torso.
Fuck.
All right, and then that will bring us up to Felix.
Hey, I'm in a tentacle, so I assume I take damage.
Oh, thank you. That is 9. Sorry.
I'm unconscious.
So as a pulse rushes down the tentacle, slamming into Felix, he drops to the ground, still wrapped by the dendrite. Amson, make a death saving throw.
Oh boy.
With advantage from Pilgrim.
Ah.
Thank you, Vesper.
Thank you so much. I rolled the same one. They're both fail. 7.
Okay. And that will bring us up to it.
It brings it up to it?
Yeah.
So it's a dex save.
Okay.
For the fire damage.
Go ahead and roll damage. Yeah, this thing it doesn't move much, so.
So 19 fire damage.
Ooh, shit. Okay. As the storm is burning around it, it's somewhat protected being inside the vat, but the vat is now partially cracked open from the thunder from Ellery. As the embers are flying, it is going to do this. Okay. So, let's see. Ellery, you feel something shift in the pulsing overload of psychic memories and thoughts. You feel something change, like a door opening. There's still that drum that's kind of keeping you stunned, but there's something else there as well. And that's its turn. That brings up the ball.
Okie dokie. I will, with my first thing, just attack. With the maul, I'm assuming, since you're unconscious, it is no longer a special maul.
It is no longer a special maul.
Still huge. So, it's a 19 hit.
19 wet. Even through the basically entirely surrounded by metal, you're able to break through one of the cracks, slamming into it. And what damage?
I'm going to put a level 4 smite into it. So, because of my elemental adept, that will be 5 fire damage from my Phoenix Blade, 12 bludgeoning damage from the huge maul, and a 25 radiant damage. And I'll put in 3 more points of my, what's it called, flaming embers. So 3 more fire damage.
So that is 45 total, I believe. Alright, so as you see Vesper clutching her head, Amson on the ground, Felix on the ground, Ellery clutching her skull, all of them down besides you, while you give all your strength into this blow. And how do you want to do this?
Shit, wow. I think just, it doesn't, like, from the outside, it doesn't look like anything. You just kind of see Ball, like, you get flashes of Ball swinging into something, but just in this raging inferno, literally all you see is just, it's kind of like, it's literally like you're seeing frames of Ball swinging at something, but really all you see is just a constant fire. And maybe for moments after that, until Ball feels like he notices the tentacles kind of loosen and like hit the ground. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of, you just keep seeing the flashes of Ball swinging over and over again. Okay. Yeah.
So as that inferno is surrounding Ball, this firestorm, you can barely make out a massive silhouette of him as he's slamming. You can hear the mush of the gray matter, and you can hear the burning of the flames and the embers, and you can hear the crack of the metal when you're hitting both the metal and the gray matter, is hitting whatever you can over and over again. That's what we see from the outside, but with everyone else stunned, you guys are just hearing this overload of white static in your mind, just this constant drone. And it starts to, every couple seconds or some amount of time, there's a flash and it stops for a moment. And it'll come back and it stops and stops and stops, and until eventually it subsides. And Ball, you see, after smashing the neurons fall to the ground. You know, the edges of them burnt up to blackness. The room filling with this foul-smelling smoke of vaporized mucus. And you see on the ground everybody, or you see, you know, your party members, some of them on the ground, nose bleeding profusely, with the others clutching their heads. And we will move on to Vesper. So at the end of your turn, go ahead and make a save.
Well, holy shit. Natural 18, so dirty 20.
Actually, you make a good point.
Nice.
Yeah, so at the beginning of as you hear this kind of banging and the pulsing stopping for seconds, and eventually it comes to a stop on your turn. So you kind of look around, nose bleeding. You see there next to you, Amson on the ground, as Ellery's beginning to blink out of it, and Felix is on the ground as well. What do you do?
Oh god, Amson. I'm gonna kneel over him. Healer's kit. So it's a lot. 1d6. 3, awesome. That is 20 health back to you.
So you quickly patch Amson up. What else?
Yeah, hang on. Do I have... Gotta check my spells real quick, because I haven't had any time to look at them. Please tell me I have healing word.
I rolled
do,
a 19 on my first death save.
Great. Healing word bonus action to Felix.
Save your boyfriend.
Yep. It's kind of top priority, sorry. That's very good. That is also max healing. So 7... Oh, I'm doing this, sorry, at first level. So that's 3 plus... So 10 back to you. And I also heal 3.
Okay. And since everyone's now not bleeding out, we'll kind of pop out of initiative order. As you guys all kind of slowly recover from being stunned. Vesper healing Amson, patching you up, kind of bringing you back, as the magic also heals, almost like taking an aspirin against the worst migraine ever, but it's enough to bring you consciousness. Again, Felix. Ball, are you still flaming firestorm?
No, so once I, like, finally see kind of, like, at some point, Ball kind of, I don't know, would Ball have sensed that kind of buzzing as well? So maybe he feels the buzzing kind of stop, and it doesn't come back despite him swinging over and over again. And then that's when he stops to actually look around and peer through the flames burning around him and realize that the battle's over.
Okay. So the firestorm kind of begins to subside as all of you kind of look around and gather yourselves once more.
Holy fucking shit, that hurt.
Amson, are you okay?
I think Amson doesn't say anything. He just, clutches his head and is just groaning in pain. But he doesn't say anything that makes any sense.
Then I'll look around and see that Ellery is hurting. And I'll run up to her and also do my healer. Or actually, I'll get here. Then I should be close enough to... Ball didn't take any damage, did he?
Nope, I look pristine.
Snazzy. I'm gonna channel divinity. I'm gonna give Ellery 15 points of healing, and both of the boys get an extra 10.
Felix is just sitting on the ground with the tentacles still wrapped around him. He's reaching for his wine bottle, pours it into his glass, and just sips, staring at the tank.
So, we're all alive, right? I think I hurt too much to be dead.
By my count, I think we're all alive.
So, upon reflection, we may have underestimated the creature in the tank just slightly.
How much did they say they were paying us for this again?
Not enough.
My head hurts.
Mine too.
Who among us looks the worst right now?
Probably you or Felix.
I'm gonna look around it at the state everyone is in, grimace, and cast healing word at 5th level on Felix, which will be 17 points of healing damage to Felix.
Felix will use that opportunity to stand up. I believe the tentacle got in my trousers somehow. Ellery, thank you. Nice lightning bolt. Can we pay someone to clean this up? Because I don't think I can.
I'm sure we're rich enough to, but right now I just want to lay down and maybe take something for this headache.
I am also going to, let's say, 4th level healing word Amson.
I'm in the 2nd level healing word myself.
8.
I will, since we're all doing it, 3rd level cure wounds Ellery.
So that's
thanks, dice. I roll
14 points
healing.
of healing damage to Amson.
I roll max healing on everybody else and then minimum on myself. That's fun.
Oh, I rolled real garbage for Ellery, sorry. 6. 11.
Okay.
I'll 2nd level healing word, Ellery. For not great. I can't math. My brain in real life is much. 8.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm above half now.
While this little heal party is going on, Felix is just going to kind of turn to Ball. I can't help but notice, I mean, you are a holy knight and all that. Is this not your cup of tea?
Roger, BRB'd.
Oh, right.
I had something I just wanted to talk to him about too. So
Damn it. It's like opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, my train is derailed, so,
How many of us wanted to talk to him?
Everyone's hands.
Okay. Well, in that case, why don't we clean ourselves up and then meet up for a drink? I'm coming around to the copper sail.
Amson will cast prestidigitation on everybody and clean everybody up of this weird brain mucus.
Oh, thank you
Brain mucus. Hang
so
on.
much, Amson.
May I take a sample of the brain mucus?
Sure, here. There's tons.
I'll find something in one of my kits and I'll scrape some mucus into it.
You
Okay.
are a fucking lifesaver. That stuff is so gross. Can
Okay,
we,
so you...
burn the rest of it? Well, we should take something back to prove that we killed it.
Well, grab a bit of tentacle.
Pansy, I'll grab it. I'm already getting my hands dirty.
Easy enough. So Amson cleans you guys all off. Vesper, you're able to get some of the brain matter, what's left, most of it's burnt, into a vial, and a little bit of tentacle that's also burnt, but a little bit of the neuron.
I wiggle it at Felix.
Stop it. And we leave our ball.
Okay. So you guys leave the sphere back into the chamber where Melly is, who's reading a book.
Hey,
So
Melly.
you guys pop up. Well, it didn't take long, but you don't look too well.
Oh, you missed a great party.
Yeah, it got bad.
Looks like it. Glad you're all right. Pretty quiet on this side.
Reading anything fun?
Just the Arcanitech crystalline structure.
Okay,
of
never mind.
Well, it's actually quite interesting, but what's it going to tell you anyway?
Can you take us back to your hellhole city?
Please.
I can. It'll be the last time today. But yeah, sure.
I don't think we're
Maybe.
going anywhere else after this.
Do you guys have some... This is the last of my chalk that I had prepared. Do you have some gems or coin so I can make some more for later?
I think
Go ahead.
How much did I give you before?
I don't remember enough to do it that one time. As she's chalking.
Because I thought I gave her 12 gems.
Oh, well then she doesn't
like-
say any of that. But I don't remember
I think
that.
it was 200 or so worth.
Okay, so she doesn't say that because I didn't remember, and she chalks it out. So she takes 10 minutes or so to write all the runes on the ground, and chanting the words to eventually ignite each rune, and then the circle begins to glow, kind of dimly lighting the room. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so you jump in. That twisting, turning feeling in your stomach before you come to a sudden rest in a familiar room. Kind of Melly moves forward, knocks on the door, talks to the person on the other side before they open the door, and you're in that place where you were about a week or so ago, inside Norville Tower.
I don't disguise myself this time to see what happens.
Okay. This time the guards don't accompany you, recognizing Melly. The female y'all saw last time isn't here. There's an older man here now who seems to recognize Melly and exits the room and goes back to his work, whatever he was doing. But Melly begins to lead you out of the chamber and up the stairs to where it enters into the library. Along the way, so what's next? Took care of whatever was in that vat?
Well, I believe we have to report it now, right?
Yep. And then, do we want to do something about Braun, or do we want to wait a little bit on that? Because I didn't use many spells. I can talk to him about 4 times today.
Granted, I didn't meet the person, but I just don't think it's a good idea to parlay at all. I don't have any attachment to the missing items, however.
Let's think about it. I don't think it's entirely necessary to talk to him, but
We don't have to rush either way.
Yeah.
I'd rather be sure that we're ready to get back into that mess before we start poking at it again.
Yeah. And if we do it now, I mean, he probably can't do anything about it right now anyways, but we don't know what resources he has available to him.
Shall we go and get drunk then?
Please.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. You guys have this conversation as Melly kind of leads you through the library in Norbell Tower, the only one of any substance in Embershore. Leads you through there and begins to lead you out of the tower, out of the courtyard and compound, kind of leaving you at the gate. I have some things I'm working on. I'm getting pretty close. I'll shout out once I finish it.
I give Melly a hug.
She reciprocates.
You know, you can take a break every once in a while to get drunk with us.
Well, I'm really close.
I
I'm
ruffle her
excited
hair.
about this one. Stop this. She kind of straightens her glasses once again. Well, have fun. Don't get yourself killed. At least not without me.
That's typically the goal.
You
They're
will
the best
certainly
at nearly
try.
getting killed.
We try not to. And with that, she kind of enters back into the courtyard, heading back towards the tower as the gate is kind of closed behind you with the private Covenant guards there.
About what time is it at this point?
The sun has set. It is nighttime.
But it's
Just-
fall, so that could mean anything.
Just based off how time works, and you would guess it's maybe 8 or so, 8:30, something like that, 7 to 9.
I'm going to hold up the tentacle. Can we turn this in and then go get drunk?
Sure. I'd look around for a covenant.
There's a private Covenant right next to you.
Oh, good. You. Can you see that this gets to your superiors? It was a terrible plague on the city.
Felix, I think we should do this personally.
Fine.
Do you want to go get us a table, Felix? You can start pre-gaming. Wait for us.
Great. Thank you.
Bye. I guess we head to Rothburn Rook.
You guys make it there, leaving this district, entering into Cold Iron Point, where you see a lot more of barracks, some officers' houses, which are nicer, but nothing like a manor, but still fairly nice. Entering up the hill that leads to that sort of plateau-like rock geographical structure, through the drill grounds and the training yard, and to Rothburn Rook. When you pass by the state. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Felix.
Okay. So you and Felix snap off, head towards Copper Sail, as the rest of you move through the gate towers and past the training yard, and eventually enter into the Castile proper. You are, once there, a Covenant kind of recognizes you and asks where you're wanting to go, and realizing you wanted to turn something in, a contract, he begins to take you to the Commissioner's office. You go there, and this is where, years ago, you met with Commissioner Bentley Verhoeven to do some contracts. You enter into the office, and he's not there, as he was arrested, but there is someone else there. A fairly young-ish woman for a position like this. She's maybe early 30s. Hair in a bun, pencil in her hair, pretty thick, rectangular glasses. Yes, what can I help you with?
We're turning in a contract.
Wonderful. Please have a seat. I am the stand-in Commissioner, Priscilla. Pleasure. And what contract is this?
The grey matter under the winery.
Of course. I'm not sure the paperwork has been completed on that, but I can write this up real quick. She pulls out, starts writing, filling out some forms. I'll have to confirm, of course, what was the amount?
1,500? What was the amount?
That's right. It was 1,500.
Think I could bullshit and get us more?
You?
Probably not. 1,500.
1,500, right. If I heard that's correct. Just hasn't gotten the appropriate seals. But if you go ahead and sign here, I can complete this.
Yep. I'll sign and I'll offer the tentacle. Proof.
Is it in a bag or anything? Or
No.
just, like holding it raw.
I think I've been holding it raw this
for
whole
like
time, which
20
is
minutes. Okay.
why I really wanted to turn it in first.
Great. One moment. She like pulls out another piece of parchment and kind of like wraps it around in that. One moment, please just wait here. And she exits the office, out a door to the back.
I wipe my hand off on Amson's shoulder.
I cast prestidigitation to wipe it off of my shoulder.
And as you guys are wiping brain mucus on each other, about 15 minutes later, she returns. The tentacle is missing, but she does have the form with a fresh wax stamp upon it. And she's also carrying a large bag that she places onto the table. All right, well, the form has been completed and stamped, and here are your agreed-upon funds. And she nudges the bag towards you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Of course. Thank you very much for your assistance in this matter. Now, it is quite late. I'm still new to this position, figuring it out, but if you have any desire for any further contracts, just let me know in the morning, please.
Of course, have a good night.
Of course. And she kind of stands up to guide you out, locking the door as she's leaving for the night as well. And in the bag there, you jangle it. It's not a lot of coins. It's about 150 coins, but they're seem to be platinum. And you guys are guided out of Rothburn Rook and eventually make your way back to the copper sail where Felix and Ellery have already gotten there.
Yeah, I think I have gotten us something strong. And since we're there, I do want to talk to Mogther for a minute.
Okay. So he's kind of behind the bar, mixing some drinks, refilling some mugs with ale.
Hey, you remember that thing we talked about that you said you were going to talk to some people about?
What? Oh, yeah, of course. I found a few things out. Here, follow me.
I do so.
Okay. He fills up the last couple rounds of ale, goes into the private room. It's rented, get out. And the few patrons, you understand that when no one's currently renting the room, anyone can just sit in here, but once it's rented, people have to clear out. So they clear out, leaving you guys in the room. He closes the door and the little window that leads directly to the bar. So, had some people ask around. It's hard to get people on the inside in the Covenant. They tend to act as a brotherhood of sorts, moving in batches, but...
Yeah.
You were looking for ways in, right?
Yes, hopefully.
From what I've asked around, the easiest way in is to either be a Covenant, means uniforms sneaking past if you think you're capable of it, or going in the sort of supply door. It's where all the food, grains, stuff like that comes in. Now that entrance is pretty heavily guarded, and not just with one. You have someone offend on the inside there that might be open to it, but there's, I think, 4 or 5 other Covenant there. So, but you could potentially get in a crate loaded up with rice or flour and let them take you in. Once you're inside, you'd be pretty well inside. They keep the stores pretty deep in. I have a few drawings upstairs to clarify where exactly, but you'd be past the majority of the security. You'd still have to move around, just the Covenant going around their business, but you wouldn't be having to sneak past actively guarding Covenant.
That sounds like that would probably be the best way then.
That's how I do it, but if you have to understand, if they do find you,
yeah,
it's definitely arrest, if not kill on sight.
Yeah.
But where were you sneaking in? What were you trying to find again? You're trying to get to the dungeon?
At this point, that would be the goal.
Dungeon's not too far from the center hold, according to the schematics, but there are 2 locked gates and inside 2 Covenant at all times before you reach the dungeon proper. Once you're in, there's just Sornelis.
I remember those 2 gates.
Yeah, watch all the time. So you have to break in. The gates can only be risen 1 at a time. slows you down a bit. They're locked. There's also a lever on the inside. They can't be opened from the outside.
From my memory, what kind of gate was it?
Sure. Do you remember the starting level of Skyrim? Where you enter in, there's like a circular room and there's 2 locked gates before you get to the dungeon? It's basically that.
So they're bars, not solid?
They are, but they can only be opened from inside.
Okay.
So there's nothing to unlock on the outside.
Well, this might be doable. Gonna have to give it a lot of thought, though.
Give it some thought, and if you decide to go with it, let me know. I can talk to my friend and set up the next shipping date.
Thank you.
Of course. Be careful. And have a drink.
Yeah. I need
Alright, I'm
one
gonna
tonight.
get back to work, but grab a bottle.
I give him a hug.
He does the same. And as you come out of the room, the private room, the inner bar isn't super crowded as it's been raining outside, storming and thundering. The rest of the crew kind of burst in, wet and drenched, from Rothburn Rock.
I think I just give everyone a little wave as I see them.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Well, we got paid.
Good. How much?
The agreed upon amount, 1,500.
And did I hear correctly that was in platinum, not gold?
Yes.
Okay. Just so I have it correct in the records.
Okay, so what now? That we are completed with that little adventure.
Where is that accent coming from, Felix?
Yeah.
I may be a little drunk.
Have you been using a fake accent on us?
No, it's my real voice. I think I just wanted... You all talk so funny.
Do I believe him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know.
Oh, and yeah, for the record, Felix has transferred Aeon back to the other bracelet and is no longer good at lying or convincing people.
Okay, so George, what do you think? Do they know? Do they know?
Do they know what?
I don't remember. They asked something.
Are you telling us the truth?
Yeah.
Or have you been faking your voice?
Yeah, no. I wavered trying to figure out what his drunk voice was, and it went British for a second. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So his drunk voice is a fake accent.
A fake accent. Whoever would do something like that? Especially to their friends.
Seems like it would be a lot of effort.
So, what do we have for drinks?
Something strong.
Your choice. Whiskey's a staple here, but there's tequila, gin, whatever you want.
Ellery is having whiskey.
You know what I want
There's
so
There's
badly?
probably a bottle of like Calvin's whiskey on the table that was given to him at some point, and he just like doesn't ever use it.
You know what I miss so much? I really want some salt rum.
Me too.
Oh, that was so good.
You know what? I'm gonna wave Mogther over to the table.
Well, what can I get for you?
Actually, I have a suggestion.
Sure, always.
Next time there's a golden elf ship in town, see if you can make a deal to stock this place with their salt rum. It is excellent.
I'll look into it. Yeah, I'll have someone watch out for a ship for me. Thanks for the heads up.
Tonight I'm having whiskey, though.
Whiskey it is.
Whatever surprised me, Mogther.
Oh, you know it's always whiskey. He kind of says over his shoulder as he goes to the bar.
More wine!
He kind of mumbles something to that, and then brings back a bottle of whiskey and a few glasses. And a clay ceramic mason jar as well. Give this a try too. Like, knock your socks off.
Do I know what this is?
You haven't seen this before.
Sounds interesting.
And we'll settle up at the end of the night.
Right.
Kind of nods and gets back to work.
Well, I am going to try whatever is in this.
Sure. There's
Clay
like
jug.
a beeswax seal to it, but as you pop it, there's an immediate, very strong fermented smell. And as you look in it, there's this sloshing, dark, purplish liquid. Kind of looks like wine, but the smell is very strong.
Oh no, wax seal. It means it's a poison trap.
Honestly, what I assume.
alcohol is the poison, so...
Yeah, well, I will take a taste.
Tasting it, it immediately just burns your tongue. And it takes a second for your taste buds to adjust. It's somewhat sweet. It's kind of like overly fermented sangria meets firewater or moonshine is very strong fermented fruit of some sort. It'd be a stretch to call it wine, but it's something like wine.
Fuck yes. I will pass it around.
Oh, I like this.
As you guys are passing it around, you see on the top, there's a label kind of carved into the ceramic. It says, bug juice.
Felix will look at the label and pass it by him.
Come on, Felix, give it a try. Be adventurous.
Drink.
I am not a child. Do not do that. And then he will kind of just sway and look at Ball. You zoned out earlier when I tried to ask this question. Why did you not join the heal party? You're like holy big man, and it's really just a lot of very hot.
Do you mean why I did not need any healing? I was not wounded.
No. You, we were all healing each other, and you did not. No offense. You can do what you want, but why not?
I think that everyone had it taken care of. Everything was under control.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ball, look at me for a second.
Ball looks at you.
And I kind of just wave at my entire self that is still definitely injured. Pretty significantly.
As she does this, Felix will put his hand on her and mumble like he's trying to cast Cure Wounds, but he just won't. And just awkwardly pats her face. All better.
Vesper is delighted. This is the best thing that's ever happened.
I am a little bit too, half stunned, half amused to immediately slap his hand off of me. Thanks, Felix.
I guess after you thank Felix and probably look back to Ball still kind of staring at you, trying to think of what to say. He says, I don't think it would work the same way that it used to.
What do you mean, Paul?
When I try it now, it's a different kind of heat that comes out. It will close wounds on me and will burn others. How does Vesper look?
Not awesome. I'm about 56 out of 78 if I had to put it on a scale.
I think maybe Ball will show you and just kind of pick a spot on you that is okay getting burned.
Sure. Yeah, whatever.
So Ball will say, since you look in better shape than Elvin, I could show you what I mean. It will sting.
Okay.
And then Ball will put, if I can find it, I can tell you exactly how it works.
50 points of searing damage.
Vesper dies instantly.
So Ball will, basically do something that would normally, basically you take 1 fire damage. And if you're resistant, you still take the 1 fire damage.
Oh, shit. Wow. That actually hurt.
And then Ball will he'll just grab at the neck of his glaive and just cut into his palm so there's just a little bit of blood. And then he'll do the same thing, and you'll see that the wound is cauterized and seems to, the blood stops and it looks like it's just an old healing wound.
Felix will kind of shake his head, trying to sober himself up enough to process what's happening. So, your Healy hands are now fire hands. How long has that been happening?
I think since the night that I visited the Gullah Cave.
That's where you found that crown, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Vesper takes a good hard look at Ball for a moment, because it did take her a while to notice the band. And then she'll kind of reach up and touch, the collar of his shirt. Where's your holy symbol?
Ball will put his hand on the ruby part of the crown on his bicep. This is my new holy symbol.
I don't think Vesper knows what to say to that. I think she's very quiet and just kind of touches the ruby.
Huh.
The ruby set in iron, the crown around Ball's arm. It looks more or less just like a ruby, but as you touch it and are close enough and you're all kind of looking at it, there's a very subtle, not quite even a light, but something ember-like shifting inside. Like a smoldering coal.
So you just abandon your goddess for a glowing crown? And it worked?
Ball looks at you and kind of almost interrupts you and just says, "No, I was abandoned. We were abandoned."
Were we?
You see Ball kind of look around and he says, "Do you see Ezekiel? Did you see any divine light? A sign that we were not alone when you needed it the most?"
Phil Nor, where their magic their influence can hardly reach. I still felt her. I was still able to reach out. It was difficult, but they heard us.
I did not hear her.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Paul. I'm just trying to understand. I felt abandoned by her before a few times. So I guess I know how you feel. I'm just, I don't know.
It should not be the goddess of redemption, constantly needing to redeem herself. And then Ball kind of runs his fingers over the crown and says, "Today, whatever this is, whoever this is, prove themselves. We are all alive. Battered, bruised, yes, but we are all here."
I guess this explains the way that you were talking when you helped me with Voyage's body yesterday.
Ball just takes a breath.
Thank you for helping me with that anyway.
Always.
I know you weren't happy about it. I look at Felix.
Sorry, I did not want to interrupt.
Were you being polite?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Well, I was just going to say I've always found it curious how the religious can absolve themselves of responsibility for their own failures so easily, you know? It's not your fault that you walked into enemy territory without a plan. It's the goddess. He'll kind of like giggle and look around like, why isn't everybody laughing?
I think just Vol looks at you and says, you have had a lot to drink.
Sorry, if the gods could do whatever they wanted when they wanted, why do we have a divine gate?
Because they don't want to do anything when we ask them to.
Maybe. I try not to ask them. But I don't think we learn from fucking up if we blame something else. You know? I got a whole bunch of the last people I was convinced were the children of the Bronze Dragon killed. I'm trying real hard not to do it again. Almost fucked up today.
Well, Felix, I will drink to that. Our mistakes are ours, and we must learn from them.
I will raise my glass.
I think, Vol, just keep us informed of how things are going with that. And I kind of nod and point a little bit towards the crown that he's got, to his band that he claims to be his holy symbol. And I guess Hampson will say, we just want to make sure that everything's all right.
And that you're not now beholden to a demon or a fae or something unsavory.
Right.
I trust you, I do. I don't trust the rest of the world sometimes.
Paul, do you mind if I take a quick look at it? By quick, I mean 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think you'll see Paul just kind of like rubbing his arm for a little while. Like, not overly long, but just for kind of just pausing for a moment, and then kind of loosens it off his arm and hands it to you.
Okay. I'm going to cast Identify as a ritual and attempt to identify the crown holy symbol band thing.
Alright, so you take your 10 minutes, and you get back. It's a ruby crown that can act as both a arcane focus or a holy symbol to anyone who's wearing it. If you attune to it and wear it, you can also do some other stuff, cause it to burst into flames and make you a little bit more charismatically imposing, or even invoke your will upon someone else. I also need the details, but that's the gist.
Do I know what it is a holy symbol for?
There are runes on it that are giant in nature, but there's no specific name that comes to you.
Do I notice the runes as he's looking at it?
I'll say that these runes are in some sort of language that I'm not familiar with.
I know giant.
They're enchanting kind of glyphs. They're letters. T, a V, several other letters, but they're just one letter. They don't spell anything.
While Amson is doing his ritual, I kind of look around at the others. You know, I think Felix is at least partly right about personal responsibility and all that. I don't think... I've been following Voltimeri, and she has helped me. But she's not the one who's guiding my choices every step of the way. All this shit that we've just been through with Voyage, I keep thinking about this and how I could have so easily gotten myself wrapped up in all of that. If the timing had been just a little bit different. If I didn't have all of you to be the angels on my other shoulder.
Ellery, can I ask, why were you working with Voyage anyways? I mean, all the stuff he taught you, Mogther could have easily done the same.
That's true. I know... When I was a kid, I had some pretty fucked up ideas, I guess. The long and the short of it is that I wanted to impress Mogther. Yeah, I could have asked him to teach me, and I learned plenty of other things from him. But I went to Voyage instead because I wanted to show Mogther that I could take the initiative to learn things on my own without taking up more of his time. I wanted him to see that I could be useful. That he had made the right choice to keep me after my mom left.
Ellery, I know I don't see everything that goes on behind closed doors, but from what I have seen over the years of being here, Mogther loves you very much. You're his daughter.
Yeah, I know that I was being foolish. And I don't think that way anymore. But in the beginning, I guess I just thought, he didn't really have any obligation to me. No one would have blinked an eye if he had tossed his ex-lover's adopted half-elf brat out into the streets. And I know that he wouldn't do that. But then, I was a kid. I think it wasn't really until... You remember that night that we came back after our little trip into the woods to find Orcesis?
Mm-hmm.
When we came back from that, and I walked through these doors, and I saw the way Mogther reacted, I think it wasn't really until then that I got it. Until then, I didn't really understand that I was as much his kid as Sherza is. That's not his fault. I just didn't know how to see it.
Alright, who's next? What's someone else's damage?
We're all closet alcoholics.
I'll drink to that.
Case and point.
Hey, if we're, delving into each other's deep, dark thoughts, I look at Vesper and Amson. I think you two have a little bit of explaining to do.
No.
Whatever
I have
do you
no
mean?
idea what you're talking about.
Nope.
Amson.
You're really going to put me in this position, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I know I like being part of this, in the spotlight, but not like this.
Too bad.
Vesper and I had a talk, and it went well. I don't know.
I turn my gaze to Vesper.
Who is just drinking to keep her mouth full. Yeah, well, he said we had a talk. It was great.
I just cross my arms and stare.
I'm sure Felix doesn't want to hear about any of this.
Do you think I care about what Felix wants?
For the record, Felix got bored halfway through Ellery's daddy issues and has been meditating for the last 10 minutes.
Fair.
I'm sure Ball doesn't need to hear any of this.
This is where Ball's also meditating. Ball will just say, is it obvious? Have you and Amson done a good job of keeping it on the down low, or is it pretty obvious?
I don't think it's been super obvious.
Vesper let something slip, but I don't remember if Ball was actually present.
Nope, it was just us and Elle.
So maybe Ball just say, well, I don't know what you're talking about, so I don't know if I'm interested.
Ball, I think it might be your job to threaten to beat up Amson to ensure that he treats Vesper right, and it's my job to threaten to beat up Vesper to make sure that she treats Amson right.
Why would we beat up our family?
No, we don't actually do it, we just threaten. That's how it works. I mean, if Sherza were dating someone...
What do you mean dating?
I just kind of wave my hand in the direction of Vesper and Amson. Those two have been keeping secrets from us.
Well, that's okay. We just showed that many of us are keeping secrets.
I mean, it really hasn't been that long.
Like 2 days?
2 fucking days. Maybe I should wait to get each of you one-on-one so I can get all the details.
Oh my god, there's no details. Ellery, we had a talk. We expressed our feelings verbally. And Amson and I are in agreement that we are dating. Boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Okay, well then let me know when there are details to discuss.
I won't do that.
For like once in a very long time, Amson is incredibly shy and does not want to talk. And is like trying to hide and hoping that a trapdoor falls open underneath him and carries him off somewhere.
Is Amson blushing? Is what I want to know.
Absolutely.
Then I think Ellery is satisfied.
Felix will just kind of like jolt over and catch himself awake. Look at Ellery and be like, blue. Sorry. What were we talking about?
Nothing.
How cute you are when you meditate.
Right.
Sure.
Also, Amson and Vesper are dating.
Oh my god.
Oh, we need to tell Melly.
Can I cast Sacred Flame on myself?
I'm gonna go bed.
You do that.
Good night, Felix.
I thought that you don't sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go where it's not so stupid. Then he just gets up and walks towards the door.
And I look down at my hands. I guess I should try and figure out what's up with this blue situation.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, maybe try one of the temples. Or I don't know, I don't think I have anything that would help you.
Do you think Void did this somehow? I mean, it
It's
could
either Void
just
or
be my
your weird
magic doing its weird shit again. At least blue is my color.
What spell do we need for this?
I don't know. She might be cursed for all we know.
Oh, we could be cursed.
Well, I need to head to the Addisic Harbor, I guess in the morning, anyway. I'm a little bit overdue for checking in there. I guess it wouldn't be the first time I've asked Stormdreamer to see if I'm cursed.
Oh, wait. Okay, here, hang on. I might be able to help you. Think I can do this. I think I'm still sober. And I will reach over and cast Remove Curse.
Okay.
Counterspell.
Give me just a straight up wisdom check.
Oh boy. Oh good. That's an 18.
Okay. Basically anyone that drank the bug juice is definitely intoxicated. If he had enough whiskey, you would be as well. But you're able to kind of steady yourself enough to kind of rest your hand on her shoulder, closing your eyes, say some words of prayer. And Ellery, who's blue, and I always forget to react in NPC, but whatever, this skin begins to change and turns kind of blue to like a bluish green before fading away completely.
And by the grace of Ayin, you are healed.
Okay.
Don't tell Felix I did that. If he asked what happened, it was not me.
Why not?
I didn't do it.
Why not?
Just promise me you won't tell him.
I can think at him right now if I want to.
Because he asked me to leave you blue for a week. And I said okay. Because I thought it was funny, but it's not funny anymore. It might get funny again, but it's not funny right now.
And, what was it that you did to fix that just now?
I removed a curse from you.
So I was fucking cursed.
Probably.
And you agreed with Felix to leave me cursed.
It's just blue.
For a week. Okay, it's just blue as far as you can tell on the surface. What if there was something else going on?
Figured you'd be going to the temple yourself anyways.
I can't believe you betrayed me like this.
I'm sorry.
I kind of glare at her, but as I'm glaring, this little grin starts.
I'm not sorry, it was pretty funny.
Okay, I guess it was funny.
I'm sorry, I should have checked and made sure that there was no poison or curse or something awful.
I suppose I can forgive you.
I feel like there's a caveat to that.
I mean, I may hold it over your head a bit. We'll see.
Okay, I'm going to bed. It's late.
Okay.
Are you taking Amson with you?
I am. Thank you for asking. Let's go.
Good night.
Okay, does everyone eventually find some rest and go to bed somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You guys eventually do that and then wake up in the next morning and kind of give me an idea of what you guys are starting out on. We'll say you guys meet together, Abby or Coppersail, your choice. It is storming outside all last night, and today it's raining, very windy.
Felix would actually try and catch Amson and Vesper privately before he meets up with the rest of them.
Oh, shit.
It might be a long conversation, so we don't have to get into it tonight, but I do want to catch them.
Go for it. I'm assuming, I would assume we're walking together.
It's we need to meet somewhere private kind of thing. Okay. I assume since you two are copulating, I can just come to your house and...
No.
Right, well, make yourselves decent, I'm coming over. And I will meet them there. So, in light of my prophecies getting out and a few things that we need to research, Aeon has stores of knowledge that I can access. And I believe, at least the prophecy that Ellery believes is about her, of Valeri, that's old as far as I can understand. It may be our best shot. And I figured you two, being the ones with the least amount of prophetic potential doom about you two, might be able to help me parse through the information before Ellery, who, for good reason I'm sure, seems a little anxious about these things, finds out.
I'm sure that we can definitely help out with that.
Great. You might want to tie me up.
Why?
I can... In order to do this, I submerge myself, essentially, my consciousness, in the vast ocean of information that is housed in Aeon to try and find a single thing. Sometimes I can go a little bit crazy for just a temporary period.
Right. Done. We can definitely do that.
Okay, so you tie Felix up as best you can, maybe to a chair.
Yeah.
Okay. So
what do you need from us?
Just kind of stand and watch and, make sure I don't hurt myself if I wake up screaming.
Question for the DM, is this same day or different day?
This is the next day. So I went to bed. This is
okay,
the
cool.
day after, yeah. I presume, unless Felix wanted to do it late that night.
No, I wanted my body to heal.
Yeah, I figured.
So yeah, he will close his eyes and summon Aeon right above his head. And then Aeon will slowly float down to merge their heads together. And I'm going to try and look for Valeri or the Armor of Sin or the Knights of the Lost Gods. Those are my search terms, trying to figure out anything on them.
I love that phrase, search term. Okay. As you're melding with Aeon, kind of opening your mind up to this massive vault of information, this stream of consciousness, as it were, it manifests in nearly a physical-esque way for you. You leave your body behind and your mind enters that of Aeon, whatever Aeon is connected to. So I think we said save at the end, but check during to see what you can find?
Correct.
Okay, so go ahead and make a investigation check or intelligence check, probably.
Can I give him a portent?
Do you have to see him?
Yeah.
I'm going to say his body is there, but his mind is not.
So just is it investigation or intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we make it a straight intelligence this first time? This is
Okay.
the first time you're doing it, and then maybe you get your proficiency later as you get used to it.
Great. That is a 15 then.
Okay. And you're looking for Knights of the Lost Gods, Valeri, and Armor of Sin.
Yes.
Okay, with a 15, this stream of consciousness, these just thoughts and ideas and emotions are streaming around, and they start to clarify into nearly a physical form in a way. This is a mental place, sure. No bodies are here, but in order to understand it, your mind is interpreting it as a three-dimensional physical place that you can move through as just a way to sort through it all. And it's this vast space with crystals, that same kind of Aeon pinkish, crimson, purple color. Some are more blue, some are more purple, some more pink. These crystals are all around, and they're connected by this large, almost spinal cord of crystal above in the center, with pulses of energy that go along the entire track as far as you can see in any direction. And you can almost hop from crystal to crystal. And upon each one, you can feel some of these ideas and thoughts and things coalesce. And you shift through these things faster than you would be able to with a body. You dart from crystal to crystal to crystal, searching for anything that might be what you're looking for. And time is hard to understand here. It doesn't feel like any time is passing at all. And yet it seems to stretch. But looking for those terms, you come upon another crystal, and upon it there are all these shattered pieces. And you can see in their reflections as your mind kind of finds a way to interpret the memories of whatever Aeon is connected to, a sort of physical representation of it for your mind to understand. These shattered crystals like broken memories, and in their reflection you see these visions. You can stare into them like looking upon a scene by watching it around the corner with a mirror. You can pick it up and kind of hold it in a way that you can look at the mirror, and it is as though you're watching something over your shoulder behind you, though it's in another place. You see blackness, nothing. You see light, an expanse, explosion of everything. And from that, the crystal the vision zooms in on something racing, something of light, upon wings, in gilded armor. And under their arms, there's a basket, or maybe a urn, it's hard to tell, but something, and they fly away into this expanse. And they find a small place that they can, and the figure, a male figure, pulls out a blade. The armor is of a style ancient, out of character. It's kind of like old, like Greek or maybe Persian armor. It's simple and gladiatorial in ways. It doesn't cover everything. It's not the intricate plate armor, but just very simple pauldrons and a partial breastplate, sandals, shin guards, and a helmet with wings on the sides. And they pull their sword out and they slice it into the air, and they form a pocket. And they look over their shoulder, and you can see they're terrified as something is chasing them. And everything that is expanded crashes back down. And in that fearful moment, they cut this pocket and place in the urn and close it back up again and grasp it, hugging it, clenching this pocket in their teeth and closing their eyes as everything that was created crashes down on them. And there's no more, just blackness again. And then you see an urn, golden urn, and it's open. Inside of it, there's a golden liquid. And you see people in simple rags with simple spheres the stone tips, drink of it, and they change. They become gilded skinned, and you see them forging gilded armor from this liquid, and they live in this place, an island hidden from everything, shielded, protected, tucked away in a pocket. And you see enemies come, shadows that move along the sky, the clouds, the backdrop silhouettes of beast, winged and horned, who come. And the people, they pick up their gilded armor and their swords, and they take the urn and they hide it away as best they can. But as the beasts draw close, they're pushed back until they are left with only last resorts. And there's a child, and you see shadows of many armored figures standing around it, but not the figures themselves, and you see a blade being driven into the child. And you see the gilded blade turn dark and purple, spiked and serrated, and the armor that was once gilded becomes the same. And they turn and they're able to face these beasts and drive them back, to kill them. And after they do so, and after they drive them back and protect their pocket, they drop their weapons in despair, and they fall to their knees, and they don't move. They weep, and the few people that remain that didn't have to fight take the urn that's now cracked, and they try to start over again. On the island, the gilded people, you see the shadows beginning to well in the distance. They look over their shoulders, and they whisper worriedly, and they begin to retreat into the island, and they see what is coming, and they whisper to each other the word Valeri. And as you're watching this vision, trying to make sense of it with your mind, Felix, make a charisma saving throw.
Oh boy. Oh shit. I rolled a 3, so that is a 2.
Oh boy. Okay.
So
Let
I
me
need...
find out what that is. Do you have those tables?
Yep, so I think I need a
Okay.
D100.
Okay.
Great. I don't have the 0 one, so we'll say green is the tens place.
So you know what it is. Message me at some point what it is.
Okay.
But you have it.
All right.
Okay. All right. So this feeling rushes over you as you try to separate, but the feeling is overwhelming, and you're trying to make sense of it, and you're lost in this place. And as you start to kind of panic a little bit about how you get out of this sort of mental image of this place that you've constructed just to understand it and navigate it, because it's too vast for you to do on your own, it begins to collapse around you. And all of these visions are flooding over you and overlapping and muddling everything, and you're not sure if it's the truth or lies or if it matters, but eventually you grip yourself enough and pull out, and the rest of, or Vesper and Amson, you kind of see the head of Aeon kind of jolt out of Felix, who kind of blinks a couple times before coming back to.
Okay. Well, that sucked.
Are you
I think
all right?
I think so. I mean, it was a little scary getting out of there. Had to fight my way out, but I think I'm here. Yeah. I don't know what it has to do with Ellery, if anything, but it's weird. And I'll relay this story.
Huh. DM, have we ever heard anything like this?
You have not.
Okay. Maybe we should check the library. See if there's any historical text about this.
Melly happens to be there. Maybe we can get her to help us.
That'll be great. I mean, I once read half a library in like a day, so I'm sure we'll be able to figure this out no problem.
And you're sure you're alright?
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes I'm able to fight it, and clearly this time I was able to fight it off.
Do I believe him?
I don't know. Does she believe you?
He believes in everything he's saying.
Okay, I will untie him.
Well, thank you for that. It's kind of awkward to do on your own.
I'd imagine so. Now we were going to meet everyone?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you guys meet up. We're all meeting at the sail or the abbey. It is storming out.
Probably the sail then, because it's closer.
Okay. Yeah, it's full-blown, like, sideways rain. There's not a lot of people in here. Or there's very few. There's like one or two.
Morning.
Is it? It's so dark outside I can hardly tell.
Yeah.
I wring out my braid.
Got a nice storm going out there.
Ugh. I don't mind the thunder and lightning, but does it have to rain?
Yes.
We were hoping you could come help us with a little bit of research. I think.
Me? I kind of give him a skeptical look at that.
Well, the more eyes on it, the better. If Felix did a deep dive into Aeon's knowledge, he found out something about one of the prophecies.
Which, as I recall, I specifically said ahead of time, let's make sure we know what it is before we tell her, but, yeah, I did. Do that.
I look back and forth between them.
Don't worry about it.
You two keeping secrets again?
Not a secret. Wanted to finish the research so that you wouldn't overreact. But yeah, here's what happened. So he will tell her, and you're welcome. I had to fight off like 4 psychic ghosts in order to get you that, so there you go.
Don't really know what to make of that.
We'll be looking into it and keeping you up to date on what we can find.
I'm assuming that he describes that in the same amount of detail as we got from the narration?
Less flowery, but yes.
Does the description of the armor, any of the armor, sound similar to what we saw on the Angel?
Yeah.
And the way that the armor changed, does that sound like that sort of double vision that I saw?
Similar, yeah.
Huh. Well, I believe I told everyone sort of the gist of what I saw when it happened, but I'm going to go ahead and describe that in more detail now.
Did you see any Pegasi while you were in there, Ezekiel? Or Felix? Wow. Sorry.
No.
Regardless, it at least sounds similar.
So, they stabbed a fucking kid?
Yep.
Lovely people.
Again, does not necessarily have to have anything to do with you, though I admit your visit from one of their angels does make sense, but maybe they were just, finding all orphans.
Could be. She had a bit of an interest in Ball.
Regardless, in spite of what I found, it doesn't really seem to have a lead we can follow up without more research. I think we're probably closer to figuring out something about that crown and maybe a hammer?
Sounds like something up Ball's alley. But yes, I do think that we need to research a little bit more. Some of the keywords that we can pull out of there.
So does this mean we're going to the library?
Unfortunately, more than likely.
I mean, if you want to just let me do it, I studied with the top-tier elven researchers. I'm sure I can find what I need to find.
I mean, Melly did teach me how to take notes, and how to sort of understand how libraries work and how to look for things in them, but...
Oh, you can read.
Fuck you, Felix.
Felix, I'd be more than happy to accompany you. Ellery, don't worry too much about this one. I just wanted to keep you in the loop.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. It doesn't seem directly to have anything to do with me, which is kind of a relief.
Well, why don't you, Ball, and I know you're probably not going to want to do this either, but why don't we go and see how the investigation's going, make sure all the loose ends got tied up?
That's probably a good idea. I do need to go visit the temple.
Okay, do you want to do that first, and then we can go up to the Rook?
I have the feeling that my conversation with Storm Dreamer might take a while.
Ball and I will go to the Rook, and we'll see you later?
Or we go to the Rook first, and then I head to the temple.
Well, I know you're uncomfortable there, which is why I offer.
You know what? I'm gonna go with you. I may be uncomfortable there, but I want to know what's going on, and I don't want to... I'd like to see the place.
Okay.
And...
we split the party.
Okay. So Felix is going to research. Is it just Felix? And the rest of you are going to Rothburn Rook?
I'll go with Felix.
So Felix and Amson are going to research, and the rest are going to Rothburn Rook. Is that correct?
That sounds about
Unless
right.
Ball has something else you'd like to do.
No, come on. I don't have anything else to do. I have to go pray to my devil god.
Cool.
Oh, dope. We can do that later.
Good. Hail Seether. Okay. So I'll finish this thing up and then we'll catch up next week. So what are you guys researching? Give me an idea of that.
Vladis and Galmora.
Okay. Just that?
I mean, I don't imagine I'll find much else on Valeri, but if Amson's got anything.
Okay.
I was going to try to figure out if I can find any signs or links to whatever Ball is apparently worshipping now. Maybe looking into fire giant gods or something like that.
Sure.
We
all give...
I asked Felix earlier if he would try and look into the name Domidedius and see if he could find anything about who or what that might be.
Okay.
Y'all give me investigation checks, separate or one advantage, or choice.
Can I give Felix Portent for his research?
Yeah.
Right, he rolls a natural 18.
Dope. What's the total?
28.
Oh boy. Okay. So you guys do some searching through it. You'll meet with Melly, who kind of gets you guys in, and once they find out how y'all have helped the city, the Norbell's going to give you permission, and you're all good in the library. So you set up shop there, going through all the books. It's pretty extensive, and at some point you find, looks like a report from an expedition company who went far to the north, past the Dwarven Canton and into Tainir, the ancient, now abandoned home of the giants. And in it, there's a story that you get. And so I'll send that to you guys, and you guys can have that info. The others who go to Rothburn Rook, listening up to the investigation, you guys find out through asking, I presume through Roderick, or whoever's available, you find out that most of the other princes of Allrath have been captured and arrested or awaiting trial, and a few others have been arrested as well. One that has been on the run they haven't found is Maul, who was the former head of the Red Watch in the Devil's Yard. So she was kind of the guard captain for the Devil's Yard. She has left the city. They're in pursuit. There is a bounty out for her arrest as well. They've got the rest of the still living princes of Allrath arrested. Muddy Waters, Ziggy, the Fern Arms, the Commissioner, and one of the Revel siblings, the Revel twins. They haven't gotten the other one. And they haven't found Havnar or Garth, but they've arrested most of the princes except for one, and most of the other individuals after conducting raids into the Devil's Yard, and they're in the process of converting the Red Watch guards into Covenant if they seem like they're on the up and up.
Well, have they found Blue-Eyed Charlie?
They haven't found Blue-Eyed Charlie or the Basilisk. They know they're usually outside of the city and just come in sometimes.
Roderick, they can't link us to this, can they? These people you're chasing?
Link what? To them?
The fact that they were ratted out and their whole operation came down around their heads?
I mean, they could probably find it out, yeah, but if you're worried about our family, we'll post some extra Covenant. We'll do some more patrols around there.
Families, not just mine.
Right, the Elixirium, the exchange is usually well guarded. We'll post someone else there, at night. And then there were the others. We'll post them there as well.
I kind of glance at Ellery, to see if she wants more Covenant in that area.
I grimace. Just, our families are all pretty much in the exchange, so.
Yeah. The Arms Blossoms, of course.
Sure. I mean, all these places in the exchange should be well guarded. I'll post some extra ones at night. You should be fine. They weren't directly, I don't know. We're trying to find them.
I think
And the
Blue-Eyed Charlie's probably our biggest threat. He's
he works for the Basilisk. He's rough, but the Basilisk is the one we're after.
Well, he was watching us.
Yeah, I understand. They were working with the Fernons, with this Belvedere. We're going to watch your families. You're going to be all right.
Can I get a sense of what kind of attitude he seems to have towards me as we're having this conversation?
Neutral-esque. It's kind of like he's doing business. He's talking business right now, basically.
Okay.
And the Abbey, of course, it's outside the walls.
Well, I think Stonearm can handle himself, but we'll have someone watch over it.
Thank you.
He's usually a Covenant or two in there anyway.
Yeah, usually injured.
Oh. Like I said, I'll post someone there.
Thank you.
Be fine.
Suppose that's all, unless you need anything from us.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll be in contact when things change. Things will change, but for the better, I think.
I hope so.
So too.
Roderick, can I ask it's not quite related to this, but a question.
Shoot.
You're going to inherit your father's position, aren't you, once he retires?
Presumably.
What? You trust me, right? We're friends?
Mostly, sometimes. Pretty rash.
Well, I just want to know, are you happy with the way the city is being run?
Mostly, yeah. There's always problems, but it mostly works out.
There's nothing you would change when you come into your new position?
Yeah, there's always things we want to change, but changing them is the tough part.
But it can be done.
Sometimes.
If the right people are making the change.
Sure, where are you going with this?
I'm just trying to get a sense of my home. I think there are a lot of parts of it that I haven't seen so clearly, that I'm seeing more now that I've seen the world outside of our walls.
Well, we're no Nymunet, but we do the best we can.
Just want what's right for Embershore.
We're going to try.
Ellery is trying very hard to keep her face as neutral as possible as this whole exchange is going on.
I will just pat him on the arm. Well, we'll be going.
Right. See you around. Okay. So, as Felix and Amson are researching and the rest of you are kind of exiting Rothburn Rook, we will fade out of Ember Shore as the others, or some of the scales, walk out of the Castile and into a storm. We'll see what happens next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Download the app of your choice and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can always email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, NPCs, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or on our Tumblr, back-to-the-story.tumblr.com. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory. We'll see you next time in Norithville.